Turning pain into purpose, the alchemy of resilience. Welcome to the BlackCEO Podcast, where we dive deep into the stories that shape our world and challenge our perceptions. Today, we have the extraordinary privilege of sharing insights from a woman whose life story reads like a phoenix rising from the ashes time and time again. I'm talking about Yolanda Allen, a beacon of resilience and determination who has transformed her pain into a purpose so powerful, it's reshaping lives across the nation. Yolanda isn't just an inspiration. She's a force of nature. Her journey from homelessness to academic excellence, from heart-wrenching loss to life-affirming purpose, isn't just a tale of personal triumph. It's a clarion call to all of us, challenging our notions of what's possible when we refuse to be defined by our circumstances. Now, I know what you're thinking. Another rags to riches story? Haven't we heard it all before? But trust me, folks, you haven't heard anything like this. Yolanda's story isn't just about overcoming adversity. It's about alchemizing pain into pure world-changing gold. Imagine, if you will, being homeless not once, not twice, but 3 times. Picture facing your own mortality with 2 heart attacks before you've even hit your prime. Now, add to that the unthinkable agony of losing your youngest child. For most of us, any one of these experiences would be enough to break us, to send us spiraling into a pit of despair so deep we might never climb out. But Yolanda, she looked at this mountain of misery and said, watch me climb this. And climb she did. All the way to the dean's list, pursuing a degree in clinical psychology. Let that sink in for a moment. From park benches to academic excellence. From cardiac wards to healing hearts. From loss to a legacy that's touching lives across the country. As I sat across from Yolanda, her eyes blazing with a fierce determination that could melt steel, she leaned forward and said something that struck me to my core. If you can see it, you can be it. You can achieve it. Just believe it. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like something off a motivational poster in a middle school guidance counselor's office. But here's the thing. When these words come from someone who's walked through the fires of hell and emerged not just intact, but radiant, they take on a whole new meaning. Yolanda's not just talking about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. She's talking about believing in yourself with such unwavering conviction that people might think you have lost your mind. It's about taking that trauma, that soul-crushing pain that threatens to consume you, and transforming it into a passion so potent it could power a small city. Now, I can almost hear some of you shifting uncomfortably in your seats. Easy for her to say, you might be thinking. She doesn't know my struggles. And you're right, she doesn't. But here's where Yolanda's message takes an unexpected turn that might just knock you off your feet. She doesn't just advocate for personal triumph. She throws down the gauntlet and challenges us to recognize our responsibility to others. You didn't experience that pain for nothing, she insists, her voice resonating with the weight of hard-won wisdom. It is your duty to help someone else make it through. Let that percolate in your mind for a moment. What if the hardships you face aren't just obstacles to overcome, but gifts you've been given to help others? What if your struggles are actually preparing you to be the hero in someone else's story? But let's get real for a moment. This isn't about slapping on a fake smile and pretending everything's peachy keen. Yolanda's approach is raw, honest, and sometimes downright uncomfortable. She talks about speaking to your inner child, that vulnerable part of you that's been hurt and scared. Be who you need it, she says. It's a concept so powerful it might just rewire your brain. Imagine going back in time and being the support, the strength, the love that you desperately needed in your darkest moments. It's not just about healing yourself. It's about becoming the healing force for others who are still stumbling in the dark. Now, I can almost hear the skeptics among you. That's all well and good, you might be thinking, but you don't know what I've been through. And you're absolutely right. I don't. But here's the kicker. Yolanda's message isn't about comparing scars or playing trauma Olympics. It's about recognizing that your pain, your unique journey, has equipped you with something invaluable, the ability to connect, to empathize, to make a difference in ways that no one else can. Let's take a moment to really absorb the magnitude of what Yolanda has accomplished. Homelessness isn't just about not having a roof over your head. It's about losing your sense of security, your dignity, your place in the world. It's about wondering where your next meal is coming from or if you'll have a safe place to sleep tonight. Now, multiply that by 3. Each time Yolanda found herself without a home, she had to rebuild not just her physical surroundings, but her entire sense of self. And then there were the heart attacks. One brush with death is enough to shake anyone's foundations. But 2, that's the universe testing your resolve, questioning your will to live. Many would have given up, resigned themselves to a life of caution and regret, but not Yolanda. She looked death in the eye and said, not today and not tomorrow either. But the true test of her spirit came with the loss of her youngest son. As a parent, this is the stuff of nightmares, the kind of pain that seems unsurvivable. It's the kind of loss that makes you question everything, your purpose, your faith, the very meaning of life. For many, this would be the final straw, the point of no return. Yet here's Yolanda, not just surviving, but thriving. She's not just picking up the pieces, she's building something new and beautiful from them. She's on the dean's list, for crying out loud. Do you have any idea how much focus, dedication, and sheer willpower it takes to excel academically while carrying such emotional weight? It's like running a marathon with a boulder strapped to your back and winning. This is where Yolanda's message transcends mere inspiration and becomes a call to action. She's not just saying, look what I did. She's saying, look what's possible for you. She's challenging each and every one of us to reframe our struggles, to see them not as roadblocks, but as the very things that qualify us to make a difference in the world. Think about it. How many times have you looked at your past and wished you could erase parts of it? How often have you felt that your struggles have disqualified you from success? Yolanda's story flips that script entirely. She's living proof that your hardships are not disqualifications. They're your unique qualifications to change the world. But let's be clear, this isn't about toxic positivity or denying the reality of pain. Yolanda's approach is refreshingly honest. She acknowledges the hurt, the fear, the moments of despair. She talks about the importance of speaking to your inner child, that part of you that's carried the weight of your struggles. This isn't about putting on a brave face. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable, to acknowledge your pain, and then to use it as a force for good. Be who you needed, she says. It's a simple phrase, but it's revolutionary when you really think about it. Imagine for a moment, what if instead of being paralyzed by your past hurts, you used them as a guidebook for how to help others? What if your struggles weren't just obstacles to overcome, but training for your life's mission? This is where Yolanda's message dovetails beautifully with the ethos of the BlackCEO Podcast. It's about recognizing that success isn't just about individual achievement. It's about lifting as we climb. It's about understanding that our trials and tribulations aren't just personal hurdles, but preparation for leadership. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, that's great for Yolanda, but my situation is different. And you're right, your journey is unique, but that's precisely the point. Your specific combination of challenges, setbacks, and victories has equipped you with the perspective that no one else has. You have insights that the world desperately needs. Consider this. What if the very things you've been trying to hide, the parts of your story that you've been ashamed of, are actually your greatest assets? What if your struggles have been preparing you all along for a purpose bigger than you ever imagined? Yolanda's story challenges us to rethink everything we believe about success and failure. In a world that often celebrates only the highlight reels, she's showing us the power of embracing our whole story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. She's proving that resilience isn't about bouncing back to who you were before. It's about using every experience, especially the painful ones, to become someone even stronger, more compassionate, and more impactful. But here's where the rubber meets the road. It's not enough to just feel inspired by Yolanda's story. She's calling us to action. Don't let nothing stop you, she declares. It's a bold statement, one that might even sound a bit audacious, but when you look at what she's overcome, you realize she's earned the right to make such a claim. So let me ask you, what's your nothing? What's that thing you've been telling yourself is holding you back? Is it a past failure, a current struggle, a fear of the future? Whatever it is, Yolanda's story is proof that it can be overcome. More than that, it can be transformed into your greatest strength. Imagine for a moment, what would your life look like if you approached every setback with the mindset that it's not an obstacle, but an opportunity? What if instead of asking, why me? When faced with challenges, you asked, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to help others? This isn't about denying the reality of pain or struggle. It's about refusing to let that pain have the final say in your story. It's about recognizing that you have the power to rewrite the narrative, to take the plot twist that life throws at you and turn them into the most compelling chapters of your story. Yolanda's journey from homelessness to the dean's list, from heart attacks to healing, from loss to legacy, is a testament to what's possible when you refuse to be defined by your circumstances. But more than that, it's a challenge to all of us. It's a call to look at our own lives, our own struggles, and ask ourselves, how can I use this? How can I turn this pain into purpose? Now, I want you to take a moment. Close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so. Think about the hardest thing you've ever faced. That moment when you thought you couldn't go on. That challenge that seemed insurmountable. Got it? Good. Now, instead of seeing it as a scar, I want you to try to view it as a superpower. How has it made you stronger, more empathetic, more resilient? And here's the kicker. How can you use that strength to lift others? Remember, in Yolanda's words, you didn't experience that pain for nothing. It is your duty to help someone else make it through. Your struggles have equipped you with a unique set of skills and insights. The world needs your story, your resilience, your hard-won wisdom. But let's take this a step further. I want you to imagine a world where everyone took this approach, a world where our pain wasn't something to be ashamed of or hidden away, but a source of power and connection. Imagine communities where people supported each other, not despite their struggles, but because of them. Imagine businesses led by people who understood hardship and used that understanding to create more compassionate, innovative workplaces. This isn't just feel-good talk. This is about revolutionizing the way we approach challenges, both personally and societally. It's about creating a culture of resilience, empathy, and mutual support. It's about recognizing that our collective strength lies not in our perfection, but in our ability to overcome, to adapt, and to grow. So here's my challenge to you. Take one step today towards turning your pain into purpose. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who's going through something you've overcome. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off because you were afraid of failure. Maybe it's simply looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not defined by my struggles. I am empowered by them. Remember, if you can see it, you can be it. You can achieve it. Just believe it. Believe in yourself to the point where others might think you're crazy. Take that trauma and make it your passion. Don't let anything, absolutely nothing, stop you. You deserve success. You deserve to heal. You deserve to turn your pain into your greatest purpose. Be the difference. Be who you needed when you were at your lowest. And in doing so, become the hero of your own story and a beacon of hope for others. As we wrap up, I want you to carry this truth with you. Your setbacks are setups for an incredible comeback. The world is waiting for your unique contribution, for the wisdom only you can share, for the change only you can spark. So go out there and show the world what you're made of. Turn your pain into purpose. Transform your struggles into strength. Be the living proof that resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward into a future brighter than you ever imagined. The stage is yours. What will you do with it? The world is waiting, and your greatest chapter is about to begin. Let's write it together, one resilient step at a time. Thank you for joining us on this journey of transformation. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and never ever let your pain go to waste. The world needs your light. Go out there and be brilliant.